On March 15th, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson decided to act upon the injustices that were taking place. On March 7th, 1965, some civil rights protesters decided to march east out of Selma on Route 80. They only made it about 6 blocks where they met with local lawmen and were brutally beaten with billy clubs and tear gas. Outraged by these inhumane acts, President Johnson decided to take action. He broadcasted this speech 8 days later, and it was powerful. Although African Americans were granted freedom in 1863 due to President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, they still weren't treated as such. In 1870, the 15th Amendment was passed, allowing them to vote. Now, with all these laws being set in place, you think that, we would follow the laws and we wouldn't have any issues. That is not the case. When a white man goes to vote, he has no issues, in and out. When a black man goes to vote, they are told things like the day is wrong, or the hour is late, or the official in charge is absent. Excuse me. They are given excuses as to why they can't vote, denying them their rights. Even if somehow they manage to register, they are denied because they didn't spell their name right. And if by some miracle a black man manages to fill out an application, the register, which is the judge, will give him a test, not an ordinary test either. He will ask him to recite the entire Constitution or state laws, which most college students can't even do. Why go through so much trouble to prevent an American from voting? President Johnson wants equality for all. Something he said actually really stood out to me. He said, "But rarely in any time does an issue lay bare the secret heart of America itself. Rarely are we met with a challenge, not to our growth or abundance, or our welfare or our security, but rather to the values and the purposes and the meaning of our beloved nation." Excuse me. We are the greatest country in the world. We have faced many hardships and overcome many obstacles, yet we cannot overcome our greed or inhumane ways. We cannot unite until we defeat ourselves. We as Americans are obligated to follow the laws appointed over us and be true to the oaths that we take. Everyone has sworn an oath before God to protect and defend the Constitution, and we must be obedient and take that oath seriously. In order to step into the future and become a nation of unity, we must first overcome the past. What happened in Selma should never have happened, and I'm passing this bill to ensure that everyone is allowed to vote and everyone is treated equally. President Johnson passed the Voting Rights Act on August 6, 1965. It outlawed the discriminatory voting practices adopted in many southern states after the Civil War, including literacy tests as a prerequisite to voting. That's what this speech was about. But at the same time, it was so much more. He talked about his first job as a teacher as a Mexican American at a Mexican American school, and very few of them could speak English. Most of them were poor and often came to school hungry. They too were disliked by white people, and even in their youth, they knew the pain of prejudice. He wanted to do more, but all he could do was teach them the little that he knew, and it frustrated him. But now, 40 years later, he is the president. He said, excuse me, I'm sorry. "It never even occurred to me in my fondest dreams that I might have the chance to help the sons and daughters of those students and to help people like them all over this country. But now I do have the chance, and I'll let you in on a secret. I mean to use it." He also talks about what we were founded on: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this cannot be measured by a man's possessions or his power or the position he holds. It is in his right to be treated as a man equal in opportunity to all others. It says that he shall share it in freedom, he shall choose his leaders, educate his children, provide for his family according to his ability and his merits as a human being. Excuse me. It's that time of year. We should all be allowed to succeed in life and be given the same opportunities. We as people came together. We fought together. We died together. We fought for freedom, and we are still denied that right. President Lyndon B. Johnson is asking that we all come together and help him with this crisis. It is up to us as Americans to assist in making freedom free for all.